Hello guys and girls, it's Trisha Galore and with a new Mandela Effect video. And I know that people will say, well, you're crazy again or something like that. You know, I'm used to it. But see, that's a Mandela Effect. Some people remember things differently than they are now. And not everybody who believes in Mandela Effect has the same memories, right? So just to explain that. I remember maybe something different than you do. And for me, that's like a huge game changer. Maybe, you know, it can be sometimes really false memories, but sometimes it really can't be, not for me. And for everybody else that believes in the Mandela Effect. So now let's get to the first one, and the one that shocked me the most, because I did some research this morning and I stumbled upon this. I've always heard that the Great Pyramids of Giza was like on top of the list there, but I never really paid attention to it because I thought they're crazy, how can they change, you know? I've had a pen pal from Egypt, and for about 10 years, and we wrote each other letters for 30 pages long and told each other about our cultures, and he's told me about like everything from Egypt, really, like about the pyramids, about mummification, and like I said, especially about the pyramids, because I was very interested in them. Now, especially in the Great Pyramids that we're talking about. So I know them very, very well. And this morning I've seen a picture of them and I thought, okay, something is off here. I remember them differently. See, it is not as much that in the middle, the pyramid in the middle still has the top that is kind of like still there, but you know, just like a crown on top. And that for me, in my knowledge, was always the biggest pyramid, the middle one, you know. So I call them now by name from the biggest to the smallest. There were 3 pyramids, right? And then 3 little king pyramids on the side of the smallest one. Now the biggest pyramid was Khufu. And that was the middle. And then it came Khafre and then Menkaure. And those were like from top to bottom, you know, the biggest to the smallest. Now, that the sizes didn't change, you know, Khufu is still the biggest, but it is not in the middle anymore. It's on the right side. If you look at it from, you know, the front, where the things is like in the middle. But anyway, it's on the right side. And it does not have that little crown on top, as I used to call it. The top of it that was kind of like not gone. And so that's like on the right side. The biggest pyramid is not anymore in the middle. It's on the right side. And it has actually 3 little king pyramids lining it, on the side of it. That never was there. Only the smallest one had that. So, now, well, I remember it. First it was Khafre, the second biggest one, then it was Khufu, the biggest one, and then it was Menkaure, the smallest one, with this 3 little pyramids on the side. And those pyramids were actually built, you know, to resemble the belt of Orion, the stars, you know, the star sign, the belt of Orion, the star constellation. And the brightest star there is in the middle, and the biggest pyramid was in the middle. Now it's on the side. And it has actually a sister pyramid with columns and an entrance. I don't remember ever hearing of that. Well, like I said, that can be, maybe my friend didn't tell me about it, but I've never even seen that on a picture. And I've watched so many documentaries where they talked about how perfect those pyramids were, really aligned to those stars. And they did not know how they've done it, you know, and they always suspected that aliens kind of came down and helped them build it and all of that. I've watched so many documentaries about this. And now it does not align to the belt of Orion anymore, at least not completely. The smallest one, Menkaure, is like actually quite a bit off. It's of the position it was before. The other ones are spot on. the biggest ones. But the smallest one is really off. So that is weird, very weird to me. And then, like I said, the Khufu pyramid always had this crown on top. That's how you recognized it. And the Sphinx was actually right in front of it. It lined up to it. It lead up to it. And now it's on the side of this constellation. Now that doesn't make any sense. And it doesn't have the crown, but Khafre has the crown. This the second biggest pyramid. And that's in the middle. And it does not make any sense. And it does not really, to me, like I said, if I would not know those pyramids the way I do because of my pen pal, and we have written so much about it, I could say really, you know, I just misremember, but I know that so clearly. And when I look at that picture, especially the ones from the satellite, and you see the constellation, and then it only had 3 little king pyramids on the smallest pyramid on the side of it. Now it also has 3 more on the biggest pyramid side. That's now on the right, not in the middle anymore, like I said. So that is weird. Now, I know there are many people out there who remember this the way I do. That there is something really off about this. They were all the time right. That there was something that wasn't right with this great wonder that really it is, you know. It is a great accomplishment of the antique world, you know. And it to me, it doesn't look right anymore. And like I said, it doesn't make any sense anymore. The biggest pyramid on the side, in the middle is the second biggest pyramid, and then the other one is off from its position, and it has now 6 little king pyramids that lines, you know, the biggest pyramid and the smallest pyramid. That was never like that. It wasn't like that, and nobody can convince me otherwise, because I know it. That changed. The pyramids have changed. I don't know how they've done it or how that worked, but they've changed it. And that completely messes me up. I can't believe what I saw. I can't believe it. Because, see, when you know something and you've written about it so many letters, and you know somebody from that country who knows them very well, and he tells you everything about it. Like, he called my grandmother grandma. We were very, very good friends until he got married and we lost contact. Probably his wife didn't want him to write to another woman. I could understand that. But I'm really sorry that we've lost contact, because I miss him. And I know he didn't lie to me. And that is weird to me, because I remember that the biggest pyramid had the top intact. Had this little crown on top, the stone crown. And was in the middle. And is still in the middle. But the name has changed. Now it's Khafre, the second biggest pyramid. And Khufu, the biggest pyramid, does not. It does not have anything on top, and it is not. It doesn't even look like the biggest, to be honest. But that may be an optical illusion. But it's still the biggest pyramid. But it's on the complete wrong spot. It's supposed to be in the middle. I am very like that. That messes me up. I mean, really badly. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. They were all right all this time that the pyramids have changed through the Mandela effect. For some people, not for all. I'm sure there are many out there who say they're right the way they are now, and there are many out there who say, well, they're not, like I am. Oh wow, so this is like, that was like the biggest change for me, and the biggest like Mandela effect, that besides the JFK shooting and all that I've ever found. I mean, very weird, because I know them so well. And that is, it just doesn't look right anymore. What do you remember? Leave me a comment in the comment section. You know, it's really interesting to me how many agree with me and how many don't. So let me know. Let's get to the second one. Now, I mean, I'm a Trekkie, right? I've watched every episode of Star Trek. I watched it with my mom when I was little. I mean, the reruns. I wasn't born when the show aired first, but I watched the reruns with my mother, and I love that. And, you know, the phrase, beam me up, Scotty. I mean, everybody kind of says it, right? It's like it became part of our pop culture. to say that, beam me up, Scotty, if you want to get out of somewhere, you know, like. But actually, Captain Kirk never said that. They say he never said it. Actually, what he said was, Scotty, beam me up. Well, I remember beam me up, Scotty. That's what I remember. What do you remember? I mean, to me, that's a Mandela effect. Because, see, why would somebody even say that in this fashion if it was said differently? That is like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, Luke, I'm your father. Now he says yes, or I'm your father, something like that. He never said, Luke, I'm your father, and he did say it. Or life was like a box of chocolates, like he says it now, Forrest Gump. And I remember him saying life is like a box of chocolates, because it makes much more sense as well. And that's how I remember it. So what do you remember about Beam Me Up, Scotty? Let me know that. Are you Trekkie? Beam me up, Scotty, please. Anyway, number 3. And I have to look about that because I'm getting a bit like, so, okay. Another saying, you know, from a movie that we all know, Tarzan. You know, we all know the guy who grew up in the jungle, you know. I think he was raised by monkeys, was he, or something like that. Anyway, and he met Jane and fell madly in love. And those movies exist, I think, even since the 1930s or whatever, 40s. And I remember clearly him saying, me Tarzan, Tarzan, you Jane. I remember that very clearly. I mean, he couldn't really speak, right? Because he never had communicated with a human. He was living amongst animals. So he said, me Tarzan, you Jane. Right? Right? Wrong. He never said that. He never said that, Avi. That's what they say. He never said it. So I believe he said it because I remember him saying it. But no. Again, for me, a Mandela effect, because I remember it differently. I do. I do. And now comes one that was very weird for me too. You know, number 4. Well, weird because I just don't remember it. I remember it differently. And I asked my mother, and she remembers it the way I do. I did not tell her what I thought. I just asked her. And it's about the kings of disco, right? The village people. YMCA, no, we all know it. So, how many members were there in the group? How many? I bet that most of you will say 5. Because I remember 5 people. I remember. And the cowboy, the Indian, the policeman, the construction worker, and I think it was, I have to look at it even now. See, now you got me. And the biker. The biker, it was the biker. Sorry about that. They all looked so gay. Anyway, so that's what I remember, and that's what many people remember. Now, believe it or not, there was a military guy in it. All the time. There were never just 5 village people, there were 6. 6 village people. And I don't remember that. I don't. I only remember 5. I really thought very hard about this. When I asked my mom and like, you know, what do you remember? And she said 5, you know, and she, like I said this and then named them all like I did now without reading the last one. But she remembered them all. And I don't remember that military guy. But he was wearing like, you know, those kind of like tarn suits, like with a military uniform thing. Like he was looking for shelter in the bush. I don't know, I don't remember him. I do not remember this guy. I remember 5 village people. What do you remember? Please let me know. Help me to be less confused and start off in this day with a bit more like, you know, I'm more normal. But I don't remember 6 village people. I remember 5. And they were all looking very gay and make terrific music that you can dance to like crazy. But I remember 5. But there were 6. So that is really, that's something. I have to admit that. That is really, I couldn't believe it. And last but not least, well, it was not really a series I watched. Well, I watched them, of course, because in the old days you didn't have that much channels to choose by. And today you have reruns of that show all the time. It's the A-Team. I mean, we know everybody knows the A-Team, you know, the guy with the cigarette, and you know, everybody knows it. And everybody knows the van they drove, right? Wrong. When I researched this, I couldn't believe what I saw. I just couldn't believe it. I remember that van. It was black and it had like a red stripe going across it, yeah, like that. While in the new version, it is black, but just at the bottom. And above the red line, it is light grey. I don't remember that. I mean, that bus, I would have never said that's the A-Team bus. I remember it had like on top the writing, the A-Team on it. And it had like, it was black and a red stripe. That's it. Now it's light grey on top. The top part of it. It looks very weird. It doesn't look the way I remember it at all. And I tell you, there's the reruns on it. On television. I never watched them because I've watched the series already, so why? Anyway, but when I read about this, I had to look at it. And when I saw that van, I thought, this is not the van they drove. It is not. It looks completely different. So what do you remember about that van? What do you remember about the pyramids? That's the most interesting for me. What do you remember about the village people? How many people were in there? What do you remember about Beam Me Up, Scotty? Are you a Trekkie? Now I have to even look what the other one was. Yeah, and Tarzan. What do you remember? Did he say it? You Tarzan, me Jane. Of course, me Tarzan, you Jane. Or what did he say? What do you remember? Did he say it at all? Well, they say he never said it. So let me know in the comment section. Subscribe to my channel. Come back and enlighten me. Good luck with that. And yeah, like I said, it's the crazy people that change the world and not the normal ones. So stick to your memories, fight for them, say this is what I remember, and I wonder what you remember, but you know, leave me my memories or whatever, but tell me what you remember, because I want to know how many agree with me and how many don't. And stay nice about it, please. So yeah, I wish you only the best, you know that, and come back, watch my other videos, have fun, do whatever you like, have a great weekend and enjoy your time, and I see you in the next video. Love you, love, light, peace, and welcome to a new world. Beam me up, Scotty.